Join Cycling have a crazy discount. It tracks Paul Sexas's GC position. The better he's placed, the bigger your discount. Up to 60% if he's ever in the yellow jersey. The discount moves after each stage, so lock it in when you like the number. Link is in the description. The first road stage of this year's Tour de France UAE, unsurprisingly on the attack. This was from Tarragona to Barcelona. The Montjuic circuit, where they finished the TT yesterday, they do a slightly different way up. There's a million different ways up that circuit. We have 3 laps of a 1.6k, 9.5% climb. The Côte du Château de Montjuic. It's the castle climb. There's 90k's a flat before the first category too, so getting the breakaway on these big highway roads quite difficult for climbers. Would Visma control for the stage? Would UAE control? The answer would be neither. We saw Healy and Pidcock at the back. So that just shows you the intention of, okay, Ben Healy's not even going to try to get in the break, someone who'd be suitable. We saw Vokala and Ineos jumping. We saw Schmidt and Jayco wanting to be in Abrahamsen for UNOX. And then suddenly UAE were controlling, and a break of Frank Vandenbroek, the newly minted German national champion Felix Engelhardt, and Alex Molinar went in the break. There was a crash at about the same time, which was unfortunately containing Biniam Girmay, and this was the break. Vistrofa didn't get across. 3 really good riders, but 3's not enough. Visma come to the front, they don't chase, but for UAE, it's a pretty easily controllable breakaway, so they don't have to. Q365 Pro Cycling come to the front. They got a different jersey for this year's Tour de France, so a white jersey, which is probably good for the sun. They're going for Pidcock from the peloton. So we'd see if that would pay off or if the other teams still disrespect Tadej Pogacar. I personally, as the intermediate sprint, Vinny showed he's in pretty good shape still after the crash. He won the intermediate sprint behind the breakaway. I personally, I know it's a controversial opinion, don't cancel me for it, don't get mad in the comments. I think Tadej Pogacar is pretty good at cycling. And I think he's pretty good on hills. I think he's pretty good in small group sprints. I think he's pretty good in the mountains. And if you go and try to beat him in the peloton on stages like this, it's likely going to be a bit more challenging than from the breakaway. But UAE, they came to the front of that climb and then stopped because Isaac Del Toro, key helper of Tadej Pogacar, he was pictured standing by the side of the road. This is like the second car's convoy. This isn't just behind the peloton. The car passed him. He changes to the climbing bike. We'll see if he lacks aerodynamics at the end of this stage. He's racing through the back part of the convoy. He gets back to Pollard at the back of the peloton just in time. But then there were a lot of punctures today. Kwiatkowski, Quinn Simmons, and then Olav Koy for Decathlon, they're on the right-hand side here. He punctures. So, okay, whatever. He's a sprinter. It doesn't matter. It matters who just punctures after that. Paul Sexas punctures. He gets a bike from Aurélien Paris-Pentre, and he has to make his way back to the peloton for like 5 minutes. And they enter the circuit at 28k's to go. And UAE hit the hammer immediately. They do the first rep really, really hard. And this is what the organizers wanted to see. You know, you have the TTT where the crowd sees everybody going full. Road stage, first lap, bang. McNulty leading up Pogacar. Vingegaard's there. Remco's present. Del Toro, Vatsek, he did a fantastic job today for Little Trek. But then they get to the top of the climb. Yates comes to the front. They got a bit easier the second one. So no riders really drop except for some helpers on the second rep. The fatigue was building. UAE putting it under pressure. We thought, okay, maybe they're going to go on the second rep because they're running out of riders. Again, Del Toro's moving up. Yates is there. We see this key corner. Remember that corner, that fast right-hander into the finish line where it kicks up again. Not extra riders were dropping. And then actually, you know, UAE couldn't win the positioning battle. Benoit goes to the front for Decathlon CMA CGM. Pogacar nearly drops his chain as he drops in the small chain ring. And you see Del Toro trying to guard the wheel of Pogacar. But Benoit, he was making it really, really hard. But for what? Because Sexas was in P9 behind Healy. You know, he's not right at the front in position. Yates is right there. And then we're thinking, here we go. Here we go. Yates is winding it up. Look at how good he sits on the bike. I mean, look at his form. Montjuic might not be Green Mountain Jabal Al-Akhdar in the Tour of Oman, but it will have to suffice for today. Yates putting Lipovitz under pressure. When's the attack coming? 200 meters left on the climb. We're thinking, okay, Pog's going to drop the hammer. When's the hammer coming? Vingegaard's looking around. It's like 4 wide. Guys are starting to move up. We're like, well, hold on, what's going on? Johannesson attacks. So Johannesson attacks with Richie Carapaz in the wheel. Pogacar there. Del Toro was sliding, and it was completely different to what we expected. We expected the Pog hammer. Pog starts to chill. He lets Carapaz go. Vingegaard plays and says, no, you close that. And here we see the plan of UAE. It's the same plan. Well, not really, because they did attack with Pogacar on the Haiscabel, was it? On stage 1 of the Tour de France 2023, Del Toro starts to move. And so you got this small group. No one really has teammates except Trek. And Trek are now attacking with Schjelmoser. So maybe if the roles were reversed, I think Schjelmoser could have got an even better result today. But he does the right thing here. Attack, see what happens. Del Toro starts to close that. And then this descent was absolutely key. There were gaps on the descent. Vingegaard just gets put off the wheel of Del Toro just a little bit through this left hand. There's a bump there. See, he's off the wheel. Just dropped about 4 bike lengths. And then this right-hander, Del Toro takes it way better than Schjelmoser. Screams past him. Vingegaard's also got Pogacar on a gap. Remco also gets put on a gap here. See the gaps? Pogacar comes screaming through. Remco's on this gap here. He's with Ayuso. Then there's another gap to Johannesson. And Vingegaard's now worried that Schjelmoser is going to close him to the barrier, so that he then loses more time. Remco then launches here, and he drops Ayuso straight off the wheel, I think it is, and bridges across almost to Pogacar and Vingegaard. Vingegaard full sprinting at 60 k's an hour on the false side uphill, looks behind. This is Remco. Remco closes that gap up, but it looks like one man's going to win. Del Toro's put Vingegaard under pressure. Pogacar's cruising up on his right-hand side. Vingegaard's grimacing. He goes to the wheel of Pogacar. Del Toro's just done the lead out, but Pogacar was feeling generous today. I said no one could beat him, but if he wants you to win, then maybe that's the solution. Del Toro nearly crashed into the barrier when he was looking over his shoulder. Pogacar starts screaming at him. He's shouting at him, go, 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 go. And Remco can't come back. They all finish on the same time. Pogacar letting the young Mexican superstar win his first Tour de France stage in his first Tour de France road stage. Ahead of Pogacar, then Evenepoel, Vingegaard, same time. 3-second gap to Schjelmoser, Johannesson, Gregoire, Martinez, Saxas, Peacock. Here is what Del Toro had to say after the stage.
You've won a stage on the world's greatest race. What does it mean for you?
No, it means really everything. I said before, I'm a very privileged guy. Yeah, you cannot believe how much we work as a team to be here. Plenty of confidence by the whole team. Really, this is the work of everybody, my family, my friends when I grew up. I cannot believe I just did in this attempt is just insane. Really, also to appreciate like Tadej being in the same team as him and the best team in the world is just really like full emotions, and you cannot believe how it feels now for me, especially for my country, and everything what's going on is just insane, really. This thanks to my teammates.
In terms of GC, small gaps, but some big changes. Pogacar moves 6 seconds closer to Vingegaard, halves his gap. Remco into third on 15 seconds. Lipovitz lost 10 seconds. Ayuso 3 seconds. But we'll see tomorrow. Will it be a breakaway? We've got hot conditions, fires, unfortunately. No crowds allowed. I hope the stage can go ahead safely, and I'll see you with the recap then. Ciao, ciao.